What is the entertainment like on P&O Arvia? In this video, we'll give you a rundown of the entertainment available on Arvia, from the traditional theatre shows to the more casual entertainment you can dip in and out of during your cruise. Arvia has 11 entertainment venues, catering for a wide range of ages and tastes, so let's jump right in with the first option on this cruise ship. Starting in the Headliners Theatre, this venue spans decks 6 and 7 and can hold an audience of up to 900 people. Nightly shows take place here at 6:45, 8:30 and 10:30, so there's a chance to watch a show that fits around your evening. Booking in advance before your cruise is recommended, but if you don't, it's worth turning up just before a show is starting to see if any seats are available. To book a show, go to the My Holiday Planner 3 weeks before your cruise to book shows for yourself and others in your cabin. You can choose the date and the time of the show you want to book, but there's no need to choose a seat. You can choose where you sit once you get to the theatre for the performance. If you arrive just as a show is about to start, be prepared that you may not be able to sit with everyone in your party, as seats together fill up fast. We'd recommend arriving around 20 minutes before the start of the show. There's accessible seats available on a first-come, first-served basis, as well as spaces for people who use a wheelchair or mobility scooter. In the theatre, you'll find production shows by the Headliners Theatre Company, as well as guest acts, which change each cruise. On our Arvia cruise, the headliner shows were Festival and Greatest Days, the Take That musical. The guest acts included a comedy juggler, comedians and vocal groups. Each show is available across 2 evenings, so there's a good chance to see the performances. The game show Wavelength is held in a theatre, and this is kind of like Mr. and Mrs. We were invited to be contestants, but politely declined. If you do fancy taking part though, you should definitely speak to a member of the entertainment team. Here's what we thought of the shows in the Headliners Theatre.
So in our opinion, the Greatest Days musical was really good, wasn't it?
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. It was a really good show. Excellent. Great music.
And I would probably say it's the closest to a musical that we've seen on a cruise ship, isn't it?
Yeah, totally different show. This was basically a story right from the start to the end. However, it is a little bit sad in places.
Yeah, at the beginning, there is something that happens. And so some people who have watched it have said it's not really something that they would choose to watch on a cruise ship, because it's not upbeat all the time. Yeah. But as long as you know that going in, the majority of it is, isn't it? And it's not the Take That music that's upbeat.
Yeah, it is. And I'm not the biggest Take That fan. However, it was really enjoyable.
The scenery was good as well, because there was things that they brought on, wasn't there?
Yeah,
like the steps on the plane. So they go on holiday and they use the steps and they move them around, and there's like statues that come to life.
Yeah, it was really good.
As well.
Yeah, very enjoyable.
I think that that's a good one. If you're going to watch a show in the theatre, I would say definitely book The Greatest Days.
Probably one of the best shows I've seen on a ship.
Ah, there you go.
Definitely.
So
probably the best shows. Yeah.
So there's always a show on in the theatre every night. So there was a couple of comedians. One was very good, and we'd seen him before on Britannia, called John Clegg. Yeah,
he was very good. Very good.
He does mostly impressions, doesn't he?
Yeah, who was actually on Britain's Got Talent,
Yes, he was.
Britain's Got Talent, yeah.
That's where he's originally from, and since then he's gone on to the cruise ship. So we did see him a few years ago on Britannia, and we also saw him on Arvia. He was really good. The audience really liked him.
Oh, yeah.
The other comedian, I don't think he really got the audience on his side, did they?
So he struggled a little bit, didn't he?
But like anything, the comedian is very much down to your sense of humour as well. So what we like might not be what everyone likes, and vice versa. So other shows that we watched in the theatre were a group called Odyssey. And Odyssey have a really good story behind them, don't they?
Yeah, this is the guys who came together from lockdown, wasn't it?
I think it was, yeah. So they were all performers, or the majority of them were performers from cruise ships, not P&O, but other cruise lines, and they formed a group and they did a cappella songs, and almost like if you've ever watched Pitch Perfect.
Yeah.
I think
I was forced to do once.
But it's that style of music, and they were really good.
Yeah, they were good. Great music. Sounded fantastic together, didn't they?
Yeah. I also went and watched The Privateers, and they were an Irish/sea shanty band. They were on a couple of times, and lots of people said from the first performance, oh, you should really go and see them, and I did see them, but the audience really liked them. I think they were quite popular. It just wasn't my favourite.
Let's move on to the next big entertainment venue on P&O Arvia, the SkyDome. By day, this is the main pool area, and you'll find things like music trivia, movies and events on the big screen, and a resident busker playing music while you chill out and relax. By night, this becomes the second largest entertainment venue on Arvia, with family-friendly shows, parties and tribute acts. You should also keep an eye on the Horizon newsletter for special appearances from Wallace and Gromit. P&O has a partnership with Aardman, so children can take part in special activities in the Kids Club and the Grand Atrium. It's worth knowing that there are 2 levels in this venue, and we thought that the view from Deck 17, the upper level, was the best for watching entertainment. If you're finding this video useful, please hit the like button to help more people find it. So what did we think about the entertainment in the SkyDome?
Now, this isn't traditionally what you would think of as an entertainment space, but they used it really, really well, and I suppose it added an extra venue in the evenings if it was busy. Mostly, I would say, more family-orientated shows.
Yeah, because everybody can just turn up to that, can't they?
Yes. We kind of wandered through a couple of times. There was one really random show that we saw.
Oh, yeah.
I think I told you about this.
Yeah.
One of the songs as we were watching it was Bonkers, and that probably sums up this show quite well. There was these performers who had the kangaroo boots on, and they were just like bouncing around, and then they had this big microphone that they would just stick in front of people's faces so that there was a song, and then it would cut out and they had to like carry on singing the next line.
Yeah, it seems like I pretty much missed another good show that night, didn't I?
I don't think you would have been impressed with that one. There was also a George Ezra tribute, wasn't there? And so when we were waiting to go into the chef's table on Celebration Night, the first one, there was a George Ezra, and
he was very good.
Yeah,
he was very good. Yeah.
The other big show that has just launched on Arvia is Shh.
Yes.
In 2024, there's a new show called Shush or Shh, and that is based in the SkyDome. We were lucky to have been invited on Iona whilst in Southampton to preview this new show. They're calling it an experience.
Very different.
And yeah, we'll explain why in a minute. So it was created by Nicole Scherzinger, who is Arvia's godmother, in partnership with P&O Cruises. And it is very, very different in that there isn't a kind of start and finish where you just go along and you watch it all in one go. It's chunked up into little pieces, isn't it?
Over a 3-hour period.
Yeah, so the whole experience is 3 hours, but the beauty of that is that you can just dip in and out.
Yeah, so don't let that put you off that you're going to be sat there for 3 hours, because that is definitely not the case. You can have a drink while you and a natter and you can chat about the show, but it is very different, but it's very, very good. It's quite exciting, actually.
And talking about cocktails.
Oh, yes. Now, I never tried this cocktail, but you did.
Craig wasn't brave enough.
No, I wasn't brave enough. I did like taste the rim of the actual glass was full of spices, and I actually literally just tipped it with my tongue a little bit, but oh my God, that is very, very spicy.
It is. So this is something again that Nicole Scherzinger has created, and it's only available in the SkyDome during the performance experience.
Yeah.
And it's a fruity cocktail. It's got tequila in it, and it's got Aperol in it, and some kind of like fruity juice. But then the rim of the glass is dipped in this spice and chilli.
Yeah, you would say it was actually dipped in literally dried, chopped up chilies. Wow.
So that was the overpowering flavour. I'm sure that you could, if you don't like that, you could ask for it to be without the spiciness on the rim. So you could just have it as like a nice fruity drink.
But overall, what was the drink like? Was it nice?
So I had 2 over the course of the evening. So the first one that I had, they'd very much done it to the max. So that was the overwhelm. Like my tongue was burning, my lips were burning. And then I had another one later in the evening, and it was kind of after they'd probably made the most of them. And it was like this extra one that they just had knocked up for me. And that was much less spicy. And more, you got more of the fruitiness, like just a nice fruity drink that you can drink. That is something that you can get only in the SkyDome during those performances, but beware that it is spicy.
Yeah. So basically what is interesting about this show is they actually do it over the swimming pool. So the stage actually comes from underneath the main stages and joins together in the middle, so that they can perform on there, which I find is quite interesting, a little bit of engineering, because obviously through the day then the stage disappears and the full swimming pool is visible.
And the interesting thing, and the creative thing that they did was they actually moved the performers around the area on those movable platforms.
Yes, they did. Yeah,
So
they were
there was
moving
some
while they
drummers.
was on, weren't they? You're the drummers.
I liked the aerial silks. You know, once they got up, in the SkyDome, they were up quite a way.
They were at a very dizzy height.
We were sat on the upper section of the SkyDome, and we had a really good view from there
because we were kind of on level with them, weren't we?
Yeah, they were really impressive. What was your favourite?
Oh, my favourite was the percussion at the very beginning when it actually starts. They come on with drums, the performers come on with drums, and that's amazing because there's no other music really with it. It's just the drummers drumming on their own. Yeah, really good.
That was a good start to the show,
fantastic,
wasn't it?
Yeah, fantastic. And fantastic dancers as well.
So it's worth knowing that unlike some of the other shows on Arvia, in, say, the theatre, where there is singing and dancing, in SHhh, there is no singing. So it's all
none at all.
Dancing, there's some percussion, there's some aerial silks.
There's a good mix, really, isn't there?
Yes.
Apart from the fact that there is no singing, which actually was nice because it makes a change. And if you're really into dancing, that's definitely a show to see.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the Grand Atrium. This space spans decks 6, 7 and 8, but the entertainment definitely centres around deck 6. You can expect more laid-back kind of entertainment here. There are aerial performances and music to listen to whilst enjoying a drink in the Amber Lounge. This is perfect if you prefer chatting with friends or just looking for a quiet evening. It's also where the silent disco was held on our cruise. Not so quiet. Every evening, aerial performances take place in the Grand Atrium, and these short performances take place 2 to 3 times a night. It's a spectacle to watch, and the performers make it look so effortless and graceful. You won't find the times of these aerial performances in your Horizon Daily programme, so if you want to catch one, you should spend some time having a drink in the Grand Atrium and enjoy one when it starts spontaneously. On one side of the Grand Atrium, on deck 6, is the Amber Lounge, and here is a small stage where there's musical entertainment at different points during the day. You can expect a pianist and some music inspired by the destinations you're visiting on your cruise. For example, on our Mediterranean cruise, there was a Spanish influence to the entertainment.
So in the Grand Atrium, there's not masses, we would say, going on all the time, but there is bits of things, like things that happen throughout the evening at different times.
Yeah.
What did you
think
about?
Just basically I think on the evening while they're doing it, they're like just keeping you a little bit entertained before you go in for your dinner.
There was also during the day, I think, like castanet classes.
Yeah, they did little classes, didn't they?
Why
did you never do that?
It was really, like, I remember us being on deck 8 of the Atrium and we heard it.
Yeah, we was looking over, that's right, yeah, I remember that.
In the Grand Atrium, during the evenings, there are some aerial performances, and they were really fun to watch. Only little short ones for like maybe 10-15 minutes at the most.
Even if that, really, it was, but very, very, and very high again, yet again.
Yes. I remember us being sat having a drink, and we'd caught the back end of one performance, hadn't we? And then we were sat there for a bit longer, and we caught the next performance.
That's right,
so they're dotted around the evening, and very impressive. I would say definitely try and see it at least once. They are, once you've seen one, they are very, very similar, but they do put little twists on some of the things that they use and some of the props and stuff that they use. So definitely very good, and it does draw a crowd as well, doesn't it?
So what deck would you think is the best viewing point for that?
I would say deck 6 is probably a good
probably, because they start at the bottom, don't they, and then they get lifted up.
Maybe deck 7, because then actually the performers are probably about eye level. Deck 8, you're going to be looking down, so you won't see as much. So I would say position yourself 6 or 7, and then you get a good view.
Also in the atrium, they do the silent disco.
Yes.
Now, we kind of had been having dinner one night, and we'd come out from dinner, and I could hear this. There was no music, obviously, because it's a silent disco, but we could hear people singing, and I'm thinking,
I think singing is a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
I think shouting is probably more the description.
So we obviously knew at this point what it was, because we'd seen it advertised. We walked over, but that, to be fair, I think I'd rather watch than partake in it, because just like Laura said, they're not singing, they're screaming, and if there's 2 or 3 different channels on, there's just music's just getting all mixed up. But yeah, very comical to watch if you've never been to one.
Good for people watching, I would say.
Yeah.
If you don't want to join in, you can definitely still stop by and do a bit of people watching, because they're quite funny, some people, aren't they?
Again, that's on deck 6.
Yes.
So we was watching it on deck. We was watching it on deck 7, and it's got very comical. I'm laughing at it now because I thought it was extremely funny. But again, I wouldn't. I know many people who've done it, but it's just really not for me.
I've done it, funnily enough, on a river cruise.
You have, yeah.
And that was the first time I'd done it, and I really enjoyed it. But you do have to just go with it and like get into it, haven't you? And just put your earphones in and then go and have a dance and just embrace it.
Yeah, embrace it.
What I would
but
say.
I'm sure it's very enjoyable.
On deck 6 in the Grand Atrium is the 710 Club. This venue's musical director is Gary Barlow, and you can see one of his platinum discs for The Greatest Day proudly displayed on the wall. Nightly performances start at 7pm, 8:45pm and 10:30pm. It's worth being aware that entertainment in the 710 Club must be booked via the My Holiday webpage, but you can't book this venue until you board the cruise and connect to the ship's Wi-Fi. Don't worry, you don't need to pay for Wi-Fi to do this. What was our opinion of the 710 Club?
We only did one, and I think we probably
picked the wrong one.
Yes.
We did pick the wrong one. We just actually walked up and asked if we could go in, and as it happens, there was 4 spaces. However, the spaces that we were given really was on the end of a curved seat, and to be fair, I just kept slipping off because the seats were so slippy, Laura. But yeah, I think, again, it's a lovely little venue, but if you book it, and you book it for the right act what's going on, I think you'll really, really enjoy it. It's a lovely little place.
So there's only a limited amount of seats because it is a smaller venue.
Very small.
If you haven't got a reservation, turn up 5 minutes before a session is supposed to start and just ask the person from P&O who's on the door if there's any spare seats. And if, for example, someone has booked it earlier in the cruise and then gone off to dinner and it's taken longer, there might be spaces. So it's always worth
it's worth having
checking.
a try. Yeah, definitely.
There is a bar in there, and because we came in late, we didn't get a chance to order any drink from the bar.
Because the waiters walk around once the show started, which is a good point, really.
So be aware, if you are going to go, either go in plenty of time and order a drink before the music starts, or to bring one in with you. I would say definitely decide what you want to go and see. The session that we watched was the songwriting, so that was the theme.
It most certainly wasn't our cup of tea. We didn't really, we're being honest, we didn't really enjoy it. But it was spare at the moment. We wasn't doing anything that night, so we just thought, come on, let's just go and try it. And we experienced it. But I wish we had booked other things what was going on in there, because there was some really good acts on in that during the 2-week cruise. I think the style that we picked wasn't the right style. That's what I'm saying.
Not for us anyway.
No, not for
us.
us.
We would have preferred something that was a bit more upbeat. And this was very much like ballads and even stuff that one of the singers had written that day.
That's right, yes. Yeah, quite funny. What we will say is it's not a long show, so you're not in there for a long period of time. I would say probably, I can't even remember it being much more than 30 minutes, to be honest.
I would say 40, 45 at the most.
Staying on deck 6, near the Headliners Theatre, is the Limelight Club. Entertainment in the Limelight Club takes place every evening and is only available once each night because it's like a night out on a cruise. There's dinner served before a show from a guest performer. It's worth being aware that this is the only entertainment you'll pay for on Arvia, and it includes a 3-course meal. You can find out who will be performing on your cruise a few weeks before via the My Holiday Planner, so you can decide if you want to book. It typically costs £25 to £35 per person. Personally, we would definitely recommend booking this if there's a performer you think you'd enjoy, because it's a great night out. Once the main entertainment has finished in the Limelight Club, there's a late night band that plays in this venue from 11:15 to midnight. So if you don't want to pay for entertainment but still want to enjoy the Limelight Club venue, go to one of these late evening sessions instead. We've experienced the Limelight Club on other ships, so here's what we thought.
We did get the chance to go in whilst we were on Iona, and it's an identical layout. So I did during the day. Would go to the Limelight Club for Fit Steps classes.
I didn't.
That was my attempt to try and burn off a few of the extra calories I'd eaten on the cruise. So on Britannia, we did go a couple of times, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, and we watched 2 excellent shows.
So on Britannia, we watched 4 Puffs and a Piano, who used to be on the Jonathan Ross show, and they were really, really good. And then the other show that we watched on Britannia was the Morecambe and Wise tribute.
They are absolute ringers for them. They are absolutely fantastic. They have everything off to a T. They were lovely guys. We met them after the show, and such nice, down-to-earth people. That is, if you can ever manage to watch that show, it's definitely a must. We had a fantastic evening.
Yeah. On our Arvia cruise, there was Chesney Hawkes, wasn't there, in the Limelight Club, and other performers that are regular. So there will be regular performers that come on for a cruise, like Claire Sweeney, Gareth Gates, and Lavoie. And we managed to watch a part of a show on Iona
with Lavoie,
and was really, really funny.
Oh, I didn't know what to expect, but I have to say, I would love to see a full show.
So on Iona, we did manage to watch Le Voir in the Limelight Club, and that show was really good, wasn't it?
I'm just thinking of some of the things that she said now. It was absolutely amazing. It was so funny.
Yeah, it just made you smile.
Really smile and proper laugh out loud.
Yeah.
Very good.
That would be our
Very
tip.
good.
One thing to be aware of in the Limelight Club is that you can book this in advance, and you should really, before your cruise, book this one in advance. They fill the tables from the front of this, like nearest the stage, to the back.
Yeah.
So if you want to have a really good view, the earlier you book, the better. But in fairness, I don't think really there was a bad view. We were towards the back.
We was, and it's kind
Iona.
of tiered slightly, so that gives a great view. I have to say, if I was watching a comedian like Le Voir, I don't think I want to sit at the front. That's my tip.
Yeah, potentially, maybe a row back.
Yeah, definitely.
And you don't share a table, so if you're a couple and you book it, then you will have a table for two.
Yeah.
Next up is the cinema on Arvia. Ocean Studios is located on Deck 6 opposite Anderson's Bar and has 3 screens showing films throughout the day. You can even get snacks and popcorn from the vending machines nearby, but these were unfortunately out of order during our cruise.
We didn't go to the cinema to watch a film when we were on Arvia. I think it would probably be a really good one if the weather wasn't as nice and it was a sea day and you were looking for things to do, but that's probably also the time when it's going to be the busiest.
Yes.
There's 3 screens, and the films that are shown are not the latest, so you're not going to get your latest cinema releases there, but maybe ones that have been out for 2-3 months.
Yeah, absolute fantastic venue. You know, I mean, obviously you kind of go up to it and it just looks like you're going into a theatre, doesn't it?
Like
with the lights and
cinema.
It's really good.
The other thing to know is that all of those films can also be watched in your stateroom.
Towards the aft of Deck 8 is a huge lounge called the Clubhouse, and this is used for a number of things during the day. There are guest talks, children's entertainment, game shows, comedians and music here, and it's definitely a place you can go in the evenings for some entertainment. The Clubhouse has plenty of seating, a bar that offers table service and a good-sized dance floor. We found ourselves spending quite a lot of time in the Clubhouse, and we tell you why.
We really liked the Clubhouse, and it was different themes of music every night, wasn't it?
Yeah, very good.
It was really popular. One thing that we were surprised about was that however busy it looked, if you wandered around,
It was like a TARDIS, wasn't it? You could always get a seat.
You could always get a seat.
Yeah.
So even if you walk in and you think, oh my goodness, there's nowhere to sit, actually there always seemed to be a seat for us. Yeah. And there's screens around.
Yeah, so you can always see what's going on stage.
Yeah, the resident band is called Pulse, and these are, people who have contracts for 3-4 months.
Yeah.
And so it is all luck of the draw, but the Pulse bands that we watched were really good.
Very good.
There was pop music.
Yeah.
There was Motown.
The Motown one was very good. Yeah. Very good. They just did different genres every night, didn't they?
Did.
And she was a fantastic singer.
Yes, the lady who was the singer on the cruise that we went on was really good. Really good singer.
But like Laura said, it is luck of the draw. You don't know what you're going to get when you go.
Moving on to the next venue, Brodies. Next to the casino on Deck 7 forward of the Grand Atrium is Brodies. Brodies is the onboard pub and it's a very popular venue on Arvia. If you're looking to watch live Premier League football, this is where you want to head. If you're a quizzing enthusiast, this is also your place.
This is very much where you do your quizzes, isn't it?
Yes,
and it was really popular. We didn't find a seat in this venue.
No.
We did go in a couple of times and we just didn't find anywhere because people go for the quizzes and they find their table and they are there for the evening. Yeah. So just be aware of that one. If you do really want to do a quiz, go early to get a seat because there's no chance else. There's a darts board there and there's also a pool table.
Yes, there is, yeah.
If you're looking to spend some time outside on those warm evenings on your cruise, we definitely recommend going to the very aft of Deck 8 to the Sunset Bar. This is a very relaxed and chilled out place to come and enjoy the wake views with a drink and some music. The DJ typically plays during sailaways and then returns for a second set from 7:30 to 10. It definitely has Ibiza beach bar vibes.
We quite liked going to the Sunset Bar just before sailaway and then spending maybe an hour or so there. It was a nice chilled place. It had outdoor seating and there was a bar there as well, which did table service. On one side, they had a DJ booth.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
And it wasn't like... No, it was more like chilled out music that you just had in the background. And so you could sit and watch the sail away and have a few drinks.
I remember one night one evening we'd got back on ship and your mum and dad joined us on there, and I think we were there for a good few hours, you know.
Yeah, because it was just nice,
Yeah,
wasn't
it was just nice, and I think sometimes I can get to them places and I think, you know, I can't be bothered moving now. I'd rather just stay here all night, but unfortunately, you do have to eat.
But that was nice, chilled out.
Yeah,
place.
loved it. Yeah, it was
Bit
really
of background
nice.
noise,
Yeah,
nice for you.
yeah.
And I would say don't forget about that place, because actually that's a really
Yeah.
nice spot.
Especially if the weather's nice, and definitely, like Laura said, on a sail away, it's a fantastic place to be.
Moving to the other end of the ship on deck 17 forward is the sophisticated crow's nest. The entertainment doesn't start here until the evening, but this is a good place to go to have drinks and listen to the resident pianist. The atmosphere here is laid back, and there's no need to go to the bar because table service is provided. It's particularly popular on celebration nights, and the dress code does apply in this venue. We spent some time here one evening of our cruise, sipping a cocktail, chatting and listening to the pianist. So what are our best tips for making the most of entertainment on P&O Arvia? Number 1, you should definitely consider booking some of the entertainment in advance of your cruise using the My Holiday webpage. We've left a link in this video's description so that you can go there straight away. 3 weeks before your cruise, you should be able to book shows. You should also be able to see which guest performers will be in the Limelight Club. 2, when you get on board, don't forget to make any reservations you want for the 7:10 Club. By day 2 of our cruise, all the sessions had sold out. Tip number 3, for theatre shows, we recommend arriving no later than 20 minutes before the show starts, so everyone in your party is able to sit together. 4, be aware there are usually 3 shows in the theatre each night. 6:45pm, 8:30pm and 10:30pm. The 8:30 show will always be the most popular, so if you haven't made any reservations, try going to the early or late show for the best chance of finding some spare seats. Tip number 5, the SkyDome show SHhh is an evening of performances, so go and see a part of it or plan to spend the whole evening and enjoy the different sections. Oh, and try the spicy SHhh cocktail that's only available during these performances. Tip number 6, if you're looking for somewhere to sit with friends and enjoy a drink with some background music, we'd recommend the Crow's Nest, the Sunset Bar or the Grand Atrium. 7, if you're looking to dance, you should definitely check out the Clubhouse and the Silent Disco. Tip number 8, if you're cruising with young children, keep an eye out for special Wallace and Gromit events listed on the Daily Horizon newsletters. 9, spend time in the Grand Atrium to catch one of the impressive aerial performances. And 10, if you love quizzes, we recommend going to Brodies, but early for a chance of a table. What entertainment are you most looking forward to on Arvia? What have been your favourites? Let us know in the comments. And if you're planning a cruise on Arvia, why not watch this video next?